Mike Tomlin's on the edge. He doesn't win a lot, or doesn't get to the playoffs a lot and win a lot.
He's edging.
What?
Nothing. Sorry.
Did he say he's doing Michael's favorite thing?
No.
Edging.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, just making sure. This is a tough game for me. I think I need to see it.
Don't smile and laugh at me. Like
But he wink at you?
Yeah,
He
no,
always
this
does.
is-
It's a Michael.
You can never tell with him.
What did I do?
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome
Good
back to
evening.
another episode of Degen Hours NFL
Degenerates.
Week 15.
Wow, it's
Fantasy
good.
playoffs
Quince.
time. We finally made it through the regular season of fantasy
Playoffs?
football.
Yep.
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
Bye week.
Playoffs?
Yep.
No, but I got Quince right, so shut up.
You got what?
Oh, Quinte. You got Quinte.
Quince, I got Quince
Yeah.
right.
Oh, the
Here we
Spanish
go.
word for
Yeah.
15.
Okay,
He
no,
didn't make
yeah.
the playoffs,
The
but he
energy
knew
of
the
this.
Spanish word for 15.
Yeah, so everyone.
Well done, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here. We're picking games this week. Absolutely electric so far through the season. Overall, we're doing pretty good. If you've been following the podcast, you know the way to bet is to tail me, Ryan, and Mario, and just hashtag fade.
Unless
Mike.
it's last week.
Yeah, best week of the year last year. For last week.
For you.
me.
Oh, yeah, throw up the records. Mike was
Bang.
50%. So
Bang.
was Mario, and so was I, actually, on the week.
Coin toss for me.
Ryan was
Coin
3 and
toss.
10.
Someone took over my picks last week.
Terrible.
I wasn't me.
Terrible.
Some
It's like,
demon on there.
it's like Mike picked for him. Ryan's still about 50% on the year, though.
That's
So
impressive.
he's 51% on the season. I'm well in first place, 55% on the season. Mario's
I'm coming for that
51% as well.
throne.
Michael is 38%.
I'm
but
gunning for you, buddy.
if you're doing what you should be doing and everyone knows we need to be doing is hashtag fade Mike, you're actually 62% on the year.
Which is
I'm
probably
coming
the
for that.
best.
Which is the
bet.
best.
Yeah, you're averaging
You
like,
can
never
you're
find
averaging
on
like
anything.
56% between
So, yeah,
the pod right now.
Exactly. So Mike is the best on the show.
Yeah.
I'm gunning for that one spot.
You have the one spot. It's locked up.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, the Mortal
win.
Lock parlay where we pay you every week. We went 2-1 last week.
Oh,
Sadly, Michael really fucked us on Friday
Oh,
night.
he
Me and
did.
Mario
Oh.
cashed out on Saturday, but only one leg lost. No, we didn't get to pay you there. But it's a new week.
Yeah.
We're getting in the action. 3
Sorry.
games, main games to talk about, and then we're going to give you every pick we're taking on the cards. Let's get right into it. Steelers at Eagles. First game, Battle of Pennsylvania in Philly. Home, Eagles minus 5.5, total 43.5. Ryan, when you look at our Steelers, we've been doing well.
They
Very
just
well.
don't know how to lose.
This is a tough one.
No.
This is going to be a tough one.
This is a tough one. This is the stretch I've been waiting for the whole year. I know we've had our flurry of like the Russell Wilson show and like, well, Mike Tomlin shouldn't be
Stretch of games.
Stretch of games, yes. Stretch of really good games. And then Mike Tomlin's now like everyone's happy with him. I know beginning of the season they were like, Mike Tomlin's on the edge. He doesn't win a lot, or doesn't get to the playoffs a lot and win a lot.
He's edging.
What?
Nothing. Sorry.
Did he say he's doing Michael's favorite thing?
No.
Or-
Edging.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, just making sure. This is a tough game for me. I think I need to see it.
Don't smile and laugh at me. Like
But he wink at you?
Yeah,
He
no,
always
this
does.
is-
It's a Michael.
You can never tell with him.
What did I do?
If he winks or not.
Christ.
hands
All
up.
right.
I mean-
wow. Racist. Continue. I'm
You want to
sorry.
hear a pick?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This guy rudely interrupted you with racism.
No racism.
I'm
Sorry.
not Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Shout out Brian
We
Kelly.
won't talk about Brian Kelly.
No, he'll
Xenophobic.
get his own pod.
Yeah.
I love the under in this game. I think this will be a defensive game just because this is a big test for both these teams. Eagles Eagles have been on fire lately, in my opinion. They had a weird game against Carolina. Carolina one of those sneaky like bottom of the league teams that'll just
You
play anyone
underestimate
well.
them.
They're gonna
Yeah.
play well in every game for the rest of the season. I don't know why the spreads are gonna be close. The spreads are gonna be whatever they are, and they'll make it close every game. I think this will be a really good game. I'm gonna go under, and there's no way I'm gonna bet against the Steelers. 5.5 is a lot of points for a close game like this, and the under says a lot. It's a very 43.5 is not a lot of points, and 5.5 is. I like the under. Steelers are gonna cover. I hope they win. It's gonna be a tough task, but definitely cover.
Yeah, so there's very few teams hotter than the Steelers the last few months in football or this entire season. The Eagles are the hottest team in football, though. They've won 9 straight games. They're looking unstoppable with Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley. A lot of people are saying the Lions look like the best team in the NFC or the NFL right now. It'd be hard to say anyone's better than the Eagles right now, the way they're playing football. They're looking really, really good. And the Steelers also have we find ways to stay in games. Like, you look at our last couple of games, if we need a grinded out game where we're not going to score a touchdown and beat the Ravens 18-16, we can do it on field goals. If we play the Bengals and we're like, hey, no one in the league is stopping Joe Burrow's offense. We know that. They're getting their 30. Let's just go score 44
Yeah.
on the Bengals. Russell Wilson. I mean, when you look at this team,
I mean, that defense isn't stopping it.
we can
It's
do
both ways.
Yeah.
we can do whatever we need to do to win games. That's the beauty of the Steelers team. Like, our defense is elite. but the offense can do what you need it to. We can run the ball. If you need to run 40 times, we can run it 40 times. We got a couple running backs that can do that. If you need to throw deep balls, it depends. Obviously, we need George Pickens to get his mental straight. I think they say it was a hamstring injury, ghost hamstring injury. Tomlin said George Pickens got to get his shit under control. He then tweeted stuff about the Browns next day, ghost hamstring injury, he's not playing.
Yeah,
so
it's very interesting.
yeah, there's something going on there. We need him active if our offense is going to look good against this Eagles team. But I think we win the game. I think we can win it. I really like the Steelers team. I love our defense. I think if there's one defense that can slow Saquon and Jalen, notice I didn't say stop. No one's going to stop them. If we can slow them and we can score over their secondary, I still think it's slightly suspect because they're super young. It's going to be the Steelers. So give me the plus 5.5 in the money line.
Yeah, I think you actually hit the nail on the head right there. I think the way to beat the Eagles or to play it, keep this game competitive is to slow down Saquon or at least just not let him run for freaking 150 rushing yards on you and get
every game.
Yeah, every single
every
game. And I think the Steelers actually have the components to do that. One of the major ones being TJ Watt, who is the best defensive player in the league by far.
Hell yeah.
I think the Steelers are crazy for me to say competent on offense. I don't think they're above average or really, really good, but I think they're competent, and I think it's gonna carry them really, really far. And so I think the 5.5 is way too much. I like the Steelers here. I don't necessarily think that they're gonna win. I think the Eagles win, but I can't see the Eagles winning by that much. I just think 5.5 is way too much. I think Eagles maybe win by 2 or 3.
Gotcha. Sure. All right, so Steelers, and Steelers. Consensus pick?
We are going Steelers.
Hey, I love that because we are unbelievably on fire when it comes to ours.
Unbelievable. NFL consensus picks have been electric.
No. I mean, this plus 5.5, absolutely love. I mean, I would have considered
so much.
I would have even considered it in past years with the Kenny Pickett offense.
Yeah.
But I think Tyler outlined it really well about this Steelers offense. It really can it's very adaptable. You know, it's very coachable. It can change with the flow flow of the game. If it's scoring a lot of points, if it's a grind out. This defense has always been good for you guys. The problem has always been kind of like I said, Kenny Pickett at the helm.
Trubisky. Mason Rudolph.
No. I mean, it's been rough past couple years.
You name it.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, this plus 5.5, I love. I think the Eagles, while they do win a lot of games, they don't necessarily start off the most convincing. They love to kind of start off kind of slow. Even last week,
into it.
Yeah, Saquon wasn't really doing much the first half of last week, and then all of a sudden, second half just explodes. That's kind of how this Eagles team is. So I love first half Steelers winning at halftime. You know what I mean? And whether or not you guys hold on to the lead, if the Eagles get hot and start controlling the game with the run game, is what it is. But I think 5.5 is too many points. So
right.
I love Steelers first half money line. That's sharp.
Yeah, I like that as well. Next game. Awesome football game. Bills at Lions.
That is a great game.
Yeah, this is such a good football game. Detroit, 1.5 point home favorites. Total 53.5. Mike, I want to start with you on this one. Both these teams can score a shitload of points.
Yeah. To be completely honest with you, I think both these teams on paper are pretty evenly matched. If anything, I would maybe lean on the talent that the Lions have. But in general, I think this is just going to be a really good football game. I'm going to lean probably with my heart is what it's going to end up being. But I just trust Dan Campbell's ability to pull out the Lions in this really tough situation. I think this is very meaningful for them, being that it's, it would be such a statement win if they can get over Josh Allen. I don't really necessarily know is super sufficient argument as to why, but I am leaning so heavily on the Lions here. So Lions minus 1.5, give it to me.
Mario.
Yeah, I actually agree with Mike. I like the Lions in this spot. It's really tough, and the line shows that as well. It's only 1.5. The thing for me, the reason why I'm going to go with the Lions, and I just think they're a more well-rounded team. I mean, you saw last week Josh Allen have 6 touchdowns, throw for 2 million yards, and
That hurt.
and still not be able to pull out a win. It's he's really, I mean, he's playing unbelievably solo, but he has to do so much to elevate this team to even be like one of these top contender teams. Whereas the Lions, I mean, Jared Goff really doesn't have to do much. He could just turn around and hand the ball off 30 times, and the
Throw
Lions
like
are going
11
to
for
be
11 and
Yeah.
perfect pass.
You know what I mean?
rating,
Like
yeah.
this offensive line for Detroit, especially the past month, has just been red hot. And I mean, the holes that David Montgomery and Jameer Gibbs are running through, I mean, we could pick up 5 yards. And,
Yeah.
I just think when you have a run game like that, it just allows you to control the time of possession. So no matter what, I think this game's going to come down to one score. I just give it to the home team. So
Dude, I think I
Lions
figured it out. I think my subconscious just had me betting against the guy who was causing me so much anxiety last week because, I mean, the Bills almost gave me a heart attack against the Rams.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was driving back, I mean, we won by 2 in a game that we were
That was
winning.
a crazy game.
The
for the
entire
won by
game.
2,
I
but
mean, it was just sweatier than it needed to be. I think my subconscious was like, dude, I hate this guy now.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. First off, shout out any fantasy owner that has players in this game because
Yeah.
it is going to be
Legacy.
legacy.
Fantasy playoff
billion
game of the year.
points if you are so lucky if you have anyone in this game. No matter what, the over is a certain lock. There's
53
nothing.
and a half
You're-
seems so low.
You're playing in the Jared Goff Dome game. When I don't think, I could be wrong about this, the Bills haven't scored less than 30 points in like almost months. I think
And-
it's been months.
And Goff
Yeah,
loves
against the
home
Jets,
dome.
At the Jets.
How long ago was that?
That was like 8 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's been 2 months of football without the Bills scoring less than 30 points.
ago.
9 weeks ago. And you're telling me Jared Goff isn't going to put up points at home?
Yeah.
Like, this
Home
should be an
dome.
all-in max play, everything over. I love the over here. And with that logic, I'm just going to go with the Bills. I know the Lions offense is like, yes, the most sound. It looks the best. Offensive line is great. They do sometimes let teams play with them a little bit, like they did with the Texans had them beat. They had an amazing comeback, which I think Texans won that game majority of the time. Packers last week, they looked really good in the first half and just let the Packers come back. Even against the Bears should have beat them at home.
Vikings.
Yeah, so just weird games. I think this is one of the quarterbacks you can't have a weird game against. I think Josh Allen will take advantage and beat you. So I'm liking the plus points. I think Bill's statement when Josh Allen pretty much just handed the MVP after this game.
Yep.
He has a huge game.
Wow.
Josh Allen, love the over though, 1 billion points.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Josh Allen, we all know best player in the NFL, best quarterback to ever walk the planet Earth. Josh Allen. It's all I have to say about this game. The Lions, they win their games. No shade on the Lions. I mean, it's really hard. What are they? 12-1? Yeah, 12-1. So, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. We get that. But, when you look at some of their games, I know the, whatever it's called, the Bills did just lose in LA to a really weird game, 42-44.
Yeah.
But, it's not like the Lions have been blowing teams out. Packers 34-31, like Ryan said. Bears 23-20. Then you go back a couple weeks, Texans 26-23. So they have these close games where they don't score a lot of points. I love the over. I don't bet overs and unders though because the Lions haven't been scoring as much as people would think the Lions have been scoring. Like if you think about the Lions offense, you're like, oh, they've been scoring 35 a game. No, that's really the Bills. The Lions, they've been winning these games. I mean, last week they scored for 34, but the couple before that, 23 and 24 points. So I think the Bills just outscore him here. Josh Allen is unstoppable, and this Lions defense will do nothing to slow him
Love
down.
that.
So,
Yeah.
give me the Bills. Last game, Packers at Seahawks. Another really consequential game in the NFC for the playoff picture. Green Bay -3 on the road. Total 46.5. I'm going to start with this one. This is easy. This is really easy. The Packers figure their shit out here. I mean, Jordan Love at some point is going to become the quarterback I know he's going to be. I just don't know when that's going to happen.
That's my doubt.
It might be this week in Seattle. I think it's this week. Jordan Love the Packers have everything they need to be a really good team. They just have, young offensive weapons at wide receiver, a new running back. Jordan Love's still getting used to the offense. I don't know. I can't really explain why the Packers keep faltering at the end of these games, but all I know is that they're going to come and beat Seattle pretty significantly on the road this one.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm all over the Packers. Their loss last week is because they started terribly. The Lions came in and punched them in the mouth, and then Packers looked amazing to end the game. I mean, immediately touchdown, second half, take the lead. Just couldn't get the job done. But this Packers team, I'm still sticking with them being my coming out of the NFC. And
Me too.
I think Seattle is just... They beat the Cardinals in division games that were just good spots where maybe Cardinals aren't as good as people thought they were, and the NFC West is in a weird bunch. And those are the only real games that make them look good. The rest of the games, they haven't looked amazing. In my opinion, they're on and off. Their running game looks really good. Gino's kind of settling down a little bit. But yeah, I think the Packers come in and just say, hey, we're done messing around. We got to start getting locked in. Playoff time's coming around. We might have to be fighting for one of those wild card spots because that division's so incredible. So they got to start winning these games.
They're third in the division right now.
I'm saying, so they got to really lock in. There's no mistakes because they're probably not going to win division. So like, I love it here. I love Packers big here. Like,
yeah. Again, this is gonna be a little bit subjective. I have paid a lot more attention to the Seahawks. I pay a lot closer attention to the Seahawks than the Packers. Main reason being in that they're in our division, and so when I was watching the Seahawks game last week, I really wanted the Cardinals to win, and then because of our win, we would have been tied for first. Would have been great, but in Michael's world, but that didn't happen, and the Seahawks actually really impressed me. I think their passing offense is highly competent, which is something that I didn't really expect this year. JSN is showing out. He is obviously the wide receiver one. Balling. He is getting a super high reception rate for the amount of targets that he's getting as well. Not to mention they still have the talent in DK Metcalf and Lockett. I mean, he's a great route runner. He can get open when he needs to in certain scenarios. And then surprisingly, Charbonnet's like kind of, he's not doing terribly. So,
well, yeah, when Kenneth's out, Charbonnet just balls.
Yeah, it's something about it. It's some like chemistry
thing.
Those
UCLA boys.
Yeah, maybe it's shout out intern Johnson UCLA, but
singular.
Yeah, one.
Again, I'm gonna lean more on the fact that I've just paid closer attention to the Seahawks here. So Seahawks +3. I like it. Take it home.
Yeah, this game is
it's tough for you because you love the Seahawks. You've been on fire.
It's tough. Yeah, because I feel like I know the Seahawks team really well, which is why when I looked at this line, I was like, okay, Packers -3. I might be a little bit bullish on the Packers, but I really do think they are when they're in rhythm, one of the best teams in the NFL.
Yes.
The thing about this Packers team that's weird is they have these weird lulls where like sometimes they can't really get going. They have like this lack of urgency that I can't explain, where when they need to like go out and just move the chains and not think, they're a great team. But the problem is like when they start off these first halves, they start off like just unconvincing, slow. Jordan Love tries to feel like just do too much and make a play versus just take the easy checkdowns. And you see like when he's just in rhythm and just making plays, this team's super good. The problem is I just think they're going to continue to do what they always do, which is like start off slow. Second half, all of a sudden, Jordan Love only completes 3 passes and like makes it a close game. I still wanted to lean Packers, but the thing is like this matchup specifically, Packers versus Seahawks, there's so much history here, and the Seahawks just win. I don't know, like they have some weird juju, whether it's like a miss, like one ref calls it a touchdown, the other one doesn't.
They just win.
Like you saw all the time in the playoffs, like Rodgers, they'd have these weird missed field goals, and they scored 12 points in, or 9 points in 1 minute. Like the Seahawks just somehow win. There's just a weird juju. I can't explain it. I'm just gonna go Seahawks.
Factor in the juju.
Even if they lose, they cover the 3. So.
That is a fair thing. You gotta think about the juju when you're making.
When it happens, like it's 4 times. Like the Seahawks just win head to head.
No, it makes sense. Yeah. All right. That was the 3 main games this week, but we have a whole lot of other picks. Let's get into the cards.
That hot.
I was absolutely terrible last week, and I'm going to flip it and be absolutely amazing this week.
Rub it down.
Flip it, rub it down, smack it, and kiss it. Here we go, baby. Starting off, Saints +7.5 versus Commanders. Makes no sense. I think this Commanders team is slowing down a little bit. They were a little hot to start. Haven't looked as great as of late. I like the Saints here. Weird game. I have no idea who's even going to play quarterback. Bengals, Titans, under 47.5. Too many points. I don't know why. Too many points. Under. Texans, Dolphins, over 47.5. Dolphins are clicking, but I do think the Texans win. So I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. Chiefs, Browns, under 45.5. I mean, Chiefs are going to barely win by a last-second field goal, but it's going to be like 19-16. Way under, easy money. Panthers -1.5 versus Cowboys. I'm really liking this whole Bryce Young thing going on over there.
He looks great.
I mean, I gave up on it a little early. I liked Bryce Young, and then he looked terrible. And maybe it wasn't his fault. Team looks really good for next year. I think they're going to build something for the future. Jets -3.5 versus the Jags. The worst pick ever given out on the
worst
pod.
game.
Yeah.
No, the worst pick also. I keep betting the Jets.
Yeah.
For shits and giggles.
Oh, me too.
That's
Like
like
they covered last week by half a point, but they're terrible.
It's a good time.
Terrible. Jets -3.5 versus the Jags. Ravens -14.5 versus the Giants in a Ravens colossal murder. This might be the worst game in Giants history they lose by.
You could probably comfortably put like $200,000 on that game.
No, easily. They're going to win. It's going to probably be like 38-10.
No, this is the
minimum
easiest.
score.
Yeah, you could probably put $900,000.
No, yeah, and my favorite bet of the week, Ravens team total over 29.5. I don't see a world, especially after
You could
off
put
a
$2
bye.
million on that game.
Oh, 100%. Billion.
On that
Trillion.
I don't even have that, but I could put it and like sleep well at night.
No, you
No, yeah, you're
sleep
good.
like a baby.
You're good.
No one you're waking up to $2 million.
We'll lock that shit in. Broncos minus 4.5 versus the Colts. I love this Broncos team. They're perfect. They know exactly what they do. They know their identity. Bo Nix, rookie of the year.
Gender
Easy.
fluid.
Broncos team total over 24.5. Cardinals, Patriots under 46.5. Both these teams are mid. Chargers minus 2.5 versus the Bucks. Chargers look real good. I think they win at home here big. Eagles, Steelers under 43.5 just because no points. Bills, Lions over 53.5. And Lions team total over 27.5. Packers minus 3 versus the Seahawks. And Monday night game, Raiders plus 4.5 at home versus the Falcons. Falcons suck.
Real rookie of the year you're betting on right there.
Is Michael Penix coming back?
Mr. Bowers.
I was kidding.
Mr. Bowers. Yeah. All right, here we go. Steelers plus 5.5. Bills plus 1.5. Packers minus 3. Already gave out those picks. I'm shooting at a 55% clip in the NFL this season. Best I've ever picked in NFL. I'm really seeing the board. Last week, 500. We're definitely going to get above it this week. Here's 8 more picks for you. Commanders minus 7.5 at the Saints. Easy. No. Easy. Who's quarterback? Jake Haener?
Taysom Hill.
I don't know.
Taysom Hill?
No,
Whoever-
Taysom Hill's on IR.
Yeah.
They might
Whoever
scoop
they
him
want
up.
to throw out there, it doesn't matter. Jaden Daniels legacy game. Texans minus 2.5 at home against the Dolphins. This is a very easy pick. Everyone loves the Dolphins right now. Dolphins are the hot thing in the NFL. They're running the offense. They're throwing the ball to his back. You know, he doesn't have the brain injury anymore. No, he still has it. CJ Stroud's going to remind people as it comes closer to playoff time why he was viewed so highly in the offseason. Broncos minus 4.5. Sorry. No, I almost tried to skip one. Ravens minus 14.5 at the Giants. That was going to be my biggest bet as my mortal, but that's on the card this week. Easiest bet. You could bet $10 million on the game. Sleep well at night. Then Broncos minus 4.5 against the Colts. Second or third in rookie of the year odds. Honestly, I love all the rookies, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and Brock Bowers equally, but I love just betting on all of them. So yeah, Broncos easy here against the Colts. Patriots plus 6.5 at the Cardinals. Cardinals team is frauds. They're fraudulent. I mean, I don't know how they're being held up so high in the rankings. They keep somehow winning these games, but not last week. Drake May is the real deal. He looks good. He doesn't have the weapons. I love the Patriots. Chargers minus 2.5 against the Bucks. This Chargers team is just way better than people think all year. They cover spreads like it's going out of style. Even when they lose, they cover. Yeah, like, I love.
good team.
I
That's
love
true.
this Chargers team. I love betting on the
team.
Chargers. Vikings minus 7 against the Bears. There's not even words I could put out that would make sense for the Bears. This team is so awful. They're so awful. I think at halftime they had 4 yards last week. 4 for the half. I mean, they're so bad. The Vikings are actually insane right now. Ever since they had that 2-game losing streak, they're just on a tear, just dominating. So this is going to be one of the easiest covers of all time. And then, yeah, Falcons minus 4.5 at the Raiders. Although I love Brock Bowers, you got to bet the Falcons here.
All right. Wow. Probably good for you guys. Do not align very well on either of those.
That's great.
Doink.
So,
38%.
well, yeah, we're changing that this week. I'm hitting 100%, baby.
100%.
Stay with me. Stay with me. All right, starting with the Eek Geeks, the Finns, the Dolphins, that is, plus 2.5 going against at the Texans. The Dolphins and the Texans. Don't know how, don't know why, but under 47.5.
Oh, yeah.
Jets, minus 3.5 at the Jaguars.
That's a Mike pick.
Down with Trevor Lawrence.
He's not
already
playing.
down.
He's not playing.
Literally couldn't be more
Even
down.
better. Even better.
That's messed up.
And then Giants
Classic
plus
Texas.
14.5 versus the Ravens. This is too big of a number for the Ravens to spread. And if I know the mind of Lamar Jackson and all the other members of that team, they don't want to cover a number this big. They want to win, and then they want to just rest. They don't want to win and dominate. They just want to win and rest. So Giants.
This is shaping up to be an all-time Mike card right here.
Cardinals minus 6.5 versus the Patriots
yeah.
because,
You're not patriotic.
that's not true. I love America. Love America.
He loves his home country.
Absolutely love them.
Mongolia.
Shout out
Steelers
South Korea for
Steelers plus 5.5.
martial law.
Steelers plus 5.5
I hate
at the Eagles.
Every week,
Every week he tries to do this.
Caw.
But he's actually kind of been on fire
Caw.
with the Steeler pick.
I
Yeah.
don't. We just don't lose.
Lions -1.5 versus the Bills because the Bills. And Seahawks +3 versus the Cheeseheads because
Down.
it's wintertime and it's not appropriate for cheese right now.
They thrive in the winter.
Yeah, but you know what? Culinarily, not appropriate.
Wow.
Right? You
feel
want
like this
something a
would
little
beat
bit
them.
lighter.
I think-
you want more
No.
cultured.
I think they
You
make a
actually-
lot of
no.
cheese in the winter.
Not
I think
true,
you want to
you're-
like hibernate and like store
I
fat.
disagree. I think you want something lighter, a little bit more cultured, a little bit more sour, like
Like
feta.
like a summer wine.
No, we're not talking about wine. We're talking about cheese.
But
Please get
pairs
with
with
the
cheese.
time.
So what
No,
kind of
Wine and
cheese?
Sir, please get with the time.
Pairs together.
I'm talking like an aged Parmesan, maybe feta,
Fentanyl?
and then lastly, but
He's a
not
fan.
leastly, Falcons Raiders over a 44.5. Go Brock Bowers. Go Bijan. Both of them combined for 8+ touchdowns.
You don't have to.
Yeah, all right. That's
Really
enough
waving
of
that John over there.
Yeah, that card really is setting up for the potential to have an all-time fade Mike week. I mean, going
I think
Jets
I'm hitting
minus the
100%.
points to the Giants +14.5.
New York.
And then the under in the Texans Dolphins, like those 3 in a row.
He loves ball in
That's
New York.
setting up for some electricity right
This
there.
could be big.
This could be a big week for the game.
Shout out to
Mario,
Twin
go
Towers.
ahead.
It's me.
All right. Starting off, I have Cowboys, Panthers over 42.5.
Yeah, you do.
Don't know why. I smell some points in this game.
Smells
points.
good.
Chiefs, listen, I bet on them every week. They haven't covered in, I don't know, 2 months, but I'm going to do it anyways.
Keep going.
Chiefs -4.5 against the
Dang.
Browns. Texans -2.5 against the Dolphins. The Dolphins, listen, they're a fake team. They're a fake team. You look at their completion percentage, right? It's like, oh, Tua completes all-time record high. Well, he doesn't
Yeah.
throw anything past the line of scrimmage.
No.
I mean, everything's
Quick,
like a
A-Chain,
swing.
Hill,
A-Chain,
Waddle.
Hill, Waddle, yeah. Okay.
Liddell.
CJ Stroud, this Texas team is actually good. They're going to easily cover this. Saints +7.5 against the Commanders.
Don't
Listen,
love
this is tough.
Don't love that.
Listen,
it.
Jaden
Line
Daniels
in the game.
is
Line
going to
in
get
the
this
sand.
dub.
Line in the game.
Line of the game.
Jaden's going to get this dub. I have no doubt about that. I know that quarterback pretty well, but I also know this team pretty well. Our defense is going to make it a tough game. Don't know how, but we cover.
Okay.
Who dat?
Ravens -14.5 against the Giants. I mean, we've all said what we need to say. Steelers +5.5 against the Eagles. Already talked about that. Seahawks +3 against the Packers. Already talked about that. Bills, Lions over 53.5. Already talked about that. Chargers -2.5 against the Bucks.
There
There it is.
Everything Tyler said about the Chargers team, I agree with. They're a real team. And then
Best team to bet on.
last pick. I'm gonna make a prediction here. Okay, only 3% chance of happening, but I'm gonna go Bengals -4.5 against the Titans, and also I'm calling it right now. Bengals sneak into the playoffs.
Ooh.
Bet it now.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't
Bet
know.
it now.
That number's not even
3%.
Is that line
3%.
up?
Yep, it's 3%.
There's
me
no way that line is up.
Let me see
There's
if
a
I can bet on
3%
it.
chance.
Can't be a line. No
On
line.
FanDuel,
No lines in the sands.
I can't see it on FanDuel. I don't see
We'll
it.
find it for you. Don't worry. Leave it. If you find it, put it in the comments. We can find it.
I'm just saying, throw $10 on it and thank me later.
Win 150,000.
Listen, the way
Hey, if you like them to win the AFC Championship, you could bet them at +18,000 right now. That's
Well,
not the
not
right
enough
number.
juice.
181. That's it. I feel like it's nothing.
not enough juice.
Yeah, no, not
I can
enough
find a
juice.
better line in Vegas.
I'm sure you could.
I know a
But-
guy.
Yeah, there you have it. That was all the action this week. Absolutely electric schedule. We could not be more pumped for December football. Not only now do we get
December.
multiple weeks of NFL in December and then leading into the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
We get college football.
Oh, yeah.
We get 4 weeks of CFB playoffs that are overlapping with fantasy football playoffs. I mean, it's
Explosion.
just this is the time to lock in. If you're ever gonna lock in, it's now. Mario, let the people know what they gotta do before.
Let
they
them
head.
know.
I mean, listen, everything Tyler said, you better lock in.
Yep.
Winter is coming.
Yep.
Winter
Guys,
is
this
coming.
is
John
this is a
Snow
different
once said.
season. It's a different level. I know fantasy playoffs are basically starting.
Lock in.
So I know for us three, we're locking in. Mike, you know, he's outside the club watching in.
Outside the club.
But yeah, we'll see you next week. Like, comment, subscribe, turn the notification bell on. See you next week. Good luck in the playoffs.
We'll see you next week.
Go Steelers.
Bye.
Go Steelers.
Saints, please win.